Hi, everybody. My name is Caoimhe, and thanks for the introduction. And as I said, I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager at the National Library of Ireland. Are you guys okay? Yeah. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview, really, of our presentation today, and a little bit about our team as a whole and the context of where our social media is coming from. And then Leah is going to delve into the more detailed examples and all the goodies. She's going to also introduce the idea of the digital front desk, which is something that I really love that she told me about, and I think it really encapsulates what working on social media can sometimes feel like. So just to get into our team, there's 4 of us, which could seem big, could seem small, depending on your organization. We have Liz Coffey, who's our head of communications, myself. We're very lucky to have an in-house graphic designer, Emma Conway, and last but not least, Leah Leslie. So Leah is really at the coalface for all our social media. She's the one who works with it on a daily basis. To give you a little bit of context, like the National Library is going to be 150 years in 2027, but the Communications and Development Office was only set up in 2019. And each of us joined into a newly created role. So as one came in, the team changed again, and what we were doing changed again. So it's a very new addition, really, to the culture of the library, even though there's long-standing departments, long-standing systems, long-standing collections, and we're new to it. So we're also trying to adapt and learn as we go. And just to give you kind of a sense of what our remit is as each year has gone by, it's kind of grown and changed. We would cover a fair amount now. I'll give you a quick run through. Public affairs, launches, donor events, media and press, filming. We get a lot of requests to use the reading room, fundraising, the annual report, everyone's favorite. We have a big capital development project coming in the next couple of years, which will also become a big priority for us. Our branding, our signage for visitors, statistics, advertising, stakeholder engagement. There's a lot within our team. We also just launched in 2023 a new bilingual website. So that's been really helpful for our online events, for all kind of levels of communication and directing things through our social media. And of course, our social media is another big key responsibility for us. So I just thought it might be helpful here in the room, and maybe for those online, if this relates to you, could just do a hands up thing in Zoom, if that's still there. Like, who here works with social media for their library or organization? Okay. Grand. And for those people with their hands up, is that your full-time job? No. Yeah. Well, I think that's what we definitely know, and Leah knows this very well, that it might be in your title, but it's also, there's a lot of other things going on behind it. So like before our team came in, the NLI social media accounts, like they were all active in some shape or form, but very much in their infancy. They were all being managed across a number of people, across a number of departments who all had full-time jobs. So they were all trying to post something, oh God, it's been a week, we'll try and get something up, that kind of thing. So in the last 5 years, there's been huge growth, there's been huge success. But I guess that also comes with a lot of time and effort and planning. So it didn't just happen overnight, and we continue to adapt to Twitter, Blue Sky, all the things that are going on. But we are 4 of us, so we just want to recognize that some of you might be doing that as 1/4 of your daily job. So it's not always possible to do potentially what Leah is doing, but hopefully you'll get some tips from her, or even just some insights of how to maybe share your work. So, I mean, we're quite blessed. We have 12 million items and counting in the national collections. So we have a huge amount of content to share. We have images, letters, books, we've a lot of ephemera, unusual items as well that you wouldn't expect. So lots to share on our socials, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy, because we have a lot of competing priorities too. We have 3 public exhibitions. We have collections, to share, but we also have use of the collection. So we've 3 different reading rooms. We're a research facility. And I suppose what's worth it, this came up at lunchtime, what might make us a little bit different to a university library is we're accessible to the public. So anyone can actually come in and use our reading rooms. And that's a key messaging that's hard for us sometimes to communicate amid all the other messages we're trying to get out. So yeah, making that very clear that this is the National Library and it's open to everyone. But yeah, we've a lot to try and get into that space on a daily basis across our different channels. Yeah, I suppose I just want to acknowledge we are quite fortunate that we have quite a substantial team to deliver on our socials, but we have a lot of things to do as well alongside it. So I don't want to take too much from Leah's presentation because she's going to show you a lot of the examples of that growth and the things that work for us and the things that are challenging. And she's been really instrumental. Just a note to say, Leah started in March 2020, which some of you might remember was the week, quite an important week, and digital marketing and social media became quite a key thing in that moment of time. So she's done an amazing job in bringing that up and to the level that it is. So I'm going to hand over to Leah now.
Thanks for being my hype man there, Caoimhe. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. As Caoimhe said, I started the first week we went to lockdown, and probably was one of the few people in the library that could do their job entirely digitally. But over the past 5 years, I've really enjoyed expanding the library's social media presence and engaging with a global audience. The National Library is present across several online channels, but our current main platforms include Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and most recently Blue Sky. We follow the less is more approach, so investing time, improving the platforms we're already on, rather than spreading ourselves too thin. Clicking. Oh, sorry, excuse me. So the library currently posts on average about 84 times a week across our 4 main channels. This is excluding Blue Sky, which I will discuss shortly. 84 posts a week might seem quite high, but until you break it down, it's really just 3 posts per day per platform, and each one has a clear purpose. So the key is to be consistent and not constant. We utilize various types of posts across our channels. So these include call to action, get a reader's ticket, collection sharing, graphic design from my colleague Emma, who does amazing work, video content, informational, did you know posts, and cross promotion and collaborative posts, probably with organizations such as yourselves. And we constantly monitor what works well and note areas for improvement. So understanding your audience on each platform is crucial, and we tailor content to match their interests and expectations. So for instance, we know that Facebook is our 2nd largest platform with predominantly a middle-aged base. From our analytics, we actually know that advertising our events works best here. Facebook alone currently accounts for 57% of all social media referrals to our website. So even though I think Facebook is a bit dead, there's lurkers. And organic posts actually on Facebook tend, with 0 spend behind them, tend to go viral here more likely than any other platform. So my personal favorite, however, is Instagram, which saw significant engagement during the pandemic. It's sort of my baby that I took on. And it's one of our fastest growing platform, and it represents our youngest demographic, many of whom are an entirely new audience for us. So many users may only engage with us online and are based outside of Dublin. So even if they never walk through our doors, they're still a very valuable audience for us. And visually engaging content such as images and reels and talking heads work best here. We joined LinkedIn in 2020, and it's our 2nd fastest growing platform. It's popular amongst the education sector, and the tone here is more professional, and it supports our team's fundraising goals. And although X is our oldest and largest following, all the reasons that Ned is so succinctly explained earlier, since Elon Musk took over in 2022, there's been significant disruptions to the platform, including the introduction of paid analytics, which were previously free, so it's quite cheeky. We joined Blue Sky last year as an alternative platform, and the response so far has been very positive. We gained over 6,000 followers since late November. This was, of course, in response to the concerns over copyright and security on X. And again, chiming in what Ned has so clearly set out, engagement on X has just declined, decimated worldwide. It's down by 1/3 of users in the UK since last year. So as analytics continue to evolve, we're keeping an eye on the situation, as I'm sure many of you are. So how has our strategy been working out for us? Since establishing a dedicated comms team to create and manage our platforms, we can see massive gains in online audience engagement over the past 5 years. For example, growing our Instagram followers by 30,000 and our newsletter by nearly 10,000 subscribers. So direct marketing is also seen by some as more trusted in an uncertain landscape, which is why we've been building up those subscribers who may not use social media platforms. So to understand how we've achieved these high levels of engagement, let's take a look at our top performing posts so far this year on Instagram. So why do you think that this photo has had such high levels of engagement? No pressure. Well, she's gorgeous. Yeah, she's good. Yeah. Well, we find that photos such as this, sharing our Flickr comments collection, which is managed by a team of volunteers and which I encourage you to check out if you're not familiar with it already, are consistently popular because they spark a dialogue. They humanize history. Our audience flock to fill in missing details, such as who the people are in the photograph and speculate what lives they may have led. Let's take a look at some more popular posts from this year. On Facebook, we have this lovely nostalgic photograph of Seamus Heaney with his aunt that was shared on Women's Day, and also to promote an event our colleagues were running. So it's a really nice example of using our collections to promote our hybrid events program, and the event quickly booked out as a result. On X, we recently paid tribute to the late poet Michael Longley, and it was also an opportunity to highlight a recent acquisition for us featuring one of his poems in letterpress, which is now preserved in our collections. So this covers a couple of goals for us, including highlighting an acquisition as well as honouring an Irish writer. And on LinkedIn, we shared this leaflet espousing the benefits of the Irish language for Mother Language Day, and it was just a really nice example of the enthusiasm there is for Irish language. So while there's no magic formula, alas, for going viral, by taking a look at these top posts, we can spot clues. So we know human stories do well, people are interested in people. Portraits, bios, talking heads, interviews. We know that nostalgic or sentimental content appeals to the Irish diaspora and older demographics. Clever timing on this day, historic events and anniversaries are also key. Writers' quotes and poetry, highlighting Ireland's world-class literary culture, and posts with a call to action asking questions, and exciting updates such as new acquisitions, and of course, cross-collaboration posts with yourselves. Social media operates a bit like a digital reception desk that's open 24 hours a day. So unfortunately, I can't be everywhere all the time, and the library's resources are not infinite. So some of our audience may only engage with us online, particularly our international followers, and younger audiences often expect instant replies. In a recent Pulse survey, 90% of Gen Z say a brand's social media presence and response time heavily influences trust. So as our platforms grow, so does the demand for timely, accurate replies. Direct online engagement builds community and shows the library is inclusive and welcoming. And it's essential for maintaining trust and credibility as a national cultural institution, especially in an age of misinformation and the rise of AI. So social media's immediacy means issues can also escalate fast. Crisis plans are crucial to protect both staff and audiences, and social listening tools can also help spot and manage problems early. There's many challenges to consider, and I can't go into them all, but of course, scheduling limitations, not all content can or should be scheduled in advance, depending what's going on in the world, like for instance, the death of a celebrity, or frustration over events, you're promoting events that have already booked out. The Irish Language Act means that 20% of a public body's advertising has to be in Irish. So although we don't have a native speaker on our team, 21.4% of our posts currently are in Irish. So compared to other culture institutions, we're doing quite well in Irish language use across our bilingual website and social media. And another challenge, of course, is navigating algorithm changes, responding to user behavior and trends, such as the decline of X and rise of Blue Sky. And as a public body, of course, we face restrictions, so no TikTok and no use of trending music due to copyright. Reaching new audiences is harder than ever as platforms favor paid, engagement-driven content over organic reach. And users now consume content rapidly, reducing the effectiveness of traditional longer form posts. The average person's attention span has also decreased from 12 seconds to 8 seconds in recent years. So despite all of these challenges, we've identified key opportunities. We've been focused on sharing the human face of the library, showcasing the work and expertise of our staff. And last year we launched well-attended cross-departmental workshops to boost understanding of social media. We also send out regular call-outs, inviting staff and audiences to suggest ideas and content. Staff interviews and articles have performed very well on our website, spotlighting the unique and often surprising works of our in-house experts. So library staff often don't realize that their everyday normal routine is quite fascinating to outsiders. And this behind-the-scenes content, including images, audios, and reels, captures the eclectic daily life of the library. A major focus this year has been to create social media reels. And although I may not be winning any Oscars anytime soon, the popularity of lo-fi content on social media works in our favor because many users see that as more authentic. Free editing tools like Canva and CapCut have also been very easy to learn, and Canva's premium features are available at no cost for registered nonprofits. Although staff may need a little encouragement to appear on camera, our talking head videos have seen strong engagement and positive feedback, which has boosted participation. And of course, simple text-based videos or visual-only videos can also perform quite well. Last week, we launched our first LinkedIn newsletter. It's a free tool to use on LinkedIn, and it's very easy to use. Within 24 hours, we gained over 1,000 subscribers, and this was all entirely organic. When you launch a LinkedIn newsletter, all current first connections will get invited with a one-off mass invitation. And one of the most significant benefits of LinkedIn newsletters is the visibility you get when you publish an article, so drawing in subscribers from outside of your network. We envision lots of opportunities here, especially for increasing our fundraising efforts in future. I'm so sorry, we're over time, but anyway, we could go on forever. There's so many opportunities, but if you want to ask us about any of these afterwards, just let us know.
Yeah. So just to say, there's our emails. We tried to pack a lot into 15 minutes, but we do really want to help. Leah's done loads of work and has loads of tips, particularly around free tools that you can use. And I think it should be noted that Leah did a lot of this on very minimal budget. So yes, she is the resource essentially. So a lot of these can be shared in a smaller scale with anyone. So please do drop us a line if you want to chat more. We'd be very happy to do a Teams or whatever. And here's just some of our socials. If you're not following us, we please invite you to do so because we're always happy to cross promote as Leah flagged. So if you have an event, a conference, we'd love to use our platform to share the news on that. So do drop us a private message on that. Thank you very much.